As you get older,
Yep.
you have to look at things in a different way.
I'm keeping my fucking hands up.
I'm not reaching for no gun. Can I move my?
Might unlock all kind of strip clubs in Omaha. We don't know. This is musty. This is disgusting at the highest level.
Floyd Mayweather has taken another jab at Terence Crawford following his recent traffic incident, and he didn't hold back. Addressing Crawford's wild celebration after defeating Canelo Alvarez, Mayweather mocked the Omaha star's behavior. If beating Canelo makes him think he runs boxing, imagine how he'd act if he actually beat fighters like Manny, Mayweather said. He stressed that true champions know their limits, adding that Crawford's reaction to a victory Mayweather himself once achieved with ease only proves that Crawford isn't operating on the same level.
Protect yourself. Another point, Floyd Mayweather, he don't carry no guns. Floyd don't carry guns.
Mayweather's criticism didn't stop inside the ring. He also addressed Crawford's off-ring troubles, highlighting the fighter's recent run-in with Omaha police. Calling the incident unfortunate and embarrassing, Floyd argued that instead of making headlines for the wrong reason, Crawford should have been at home with his family, celebrating his victory and cementing his place in boxing.
We've had a lot of comparisons between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. We've even had the conversation to go as far as who would win in a fight between Terence and Floyd. And I truly don't know the answer to that question.
I do.
You do?
Yes.
Yeah. Who would win that fight?
Floyd.
Floyd would win that
Yes,
fight.
sir. I love you, Terence.
Always figures it out.
Yeah, he's a chess man. Yeah, his IQ in that
The funny thing about it is,
The headlines Floyd pointed to began taking shape early this morning in downtown Omaha. Just hours earlier, the city had thrown a massive parade to honor Crawford's victory over Canelo, the champion himself serving as the centerpiece of the celebration. But by night's end, the mood had shifted dramatically. According to the Omaha Police Department, around 1:30 a.m., officers spotted a vehicle driving recklessly near North 12th Street and Capitol Avenue, eventually stopping it on Cass Street. Inside were 4 occupants, including Crawford and his head of security, Qasim Shabazz.
I'm not reaching for no gun. Can I move my?
Love Crawford being harassed by cops and pulled over by the cops right after the parade. This is diabolical.
Later that day, police released a statement outlining their account of the incident. According to officers, while speaking with the driver, one officer spotted a loaded firearm on the driver's side floorboard. Out of caution, all 4 occupants were ordered out of the vehicle at gunpoint. Once identifications were checked, the driver was confirmed to be Terence Crawford, who was cited for reckless driving. The statement also clarified the matter of the firearms, noting that one belonged to Crawford's security chief and was legally registered. Authorities emphasized that all 4 passengers were legally permitted to carry weapons.
Cats. Once they had stopped, Crawford was identified as the driver. According to police, officers observed a firearm on the floorboard on the driver's side. All 4 people, including members of Crawford's security team, were ordered out of the vehicle at gunpoint. I spoke with the head of Crawford's security this afternoon, who says he's still shaken up.
Only hours after being cheered through Omaha's parade route, fans were stunned to see their champion in handcuffs on Cass Street. For many, the arrest overshadowed what was supposed to be a weekend of pride for the city. Some expressed disappointment in Crawford himself, pointing to reckless driving and questionable judgment. Local station KV reported that, according to an officer at the scene, the firearm came into view when Crawford leaned down to retrieve his license and registration.
Bro, I got a crazy clip to show you guys right now. But isn't that a policeman holding a gun to the 3-time undisputed world champ Terence Bud Crawford's head? What did he do that was so bad that you had to pull him over?
The officer explained that as Crawford leaned forward, a firearm became visible near his, prompting police to order all occupants out of the vehicle at gunpoint. According to the report, each passenger was briefly. The situation was under control. During the stop, Crawford repeatedly insisted he was not reaching for the weapon, raising his hands to show compliance and emphasizing that he was cooperating.
That was a nightmare. You know, future husband, just had a brand new child and, you know, children and, you know, and stuff like that. And to know that I almost lost my life last night. because we had a police officer that don't know how to articulate a traffic stop.
That version of events was later challenged by Crawford's security chief, Qasim Shabazz, who gave his own account and flatly disputed the officer's statement. According to Shabazz, Crawford never reached for documents because he didn't have them. He had already informed the officer that his license and registration were at home, meaning there was no reason for him to reach for anything. Shabazz added that both he and Crawford disclosed from the outset that they were legally carrying firearms, as required under Nebraska law. Despite that transparency, he said, the stop quickly escalated. Bud told the officer, "I have a firearm too." The cop on his side just lost it, screaming, "Get your hands, get out of the car, don't reach." But there was never a gun in sight. Shabazz, everyone thought we were going to die, man.
I'm not reaching for no gun. Can I move my?
You telling me the police at Omaha don't know who Terence Crawford is? Putting a gun in his face? Ridiculous.
Shabazz also pushed back against the reckless driving allegation. He said Crawford directly asked the officer whether radar had been used to measure his speed. According to Shabazz, the officer admitted it had not. "Well, how do you know I was speeding if you don't have radar?" Crawford reportedly asked. Shabazz claimed he recorded the exchange, capturing the officer on camera saying, "I cannot. I admit that I do not have radar."
In Omaha, after receiving the keys to the city, huh? Hey, yo, that cop gotta be some hater, bro. Hey, yo, that's like the NYPD holding Derek Jeter on gunpoint and arresting him after the Yankee championship parade in New York City. It doesn't make sense. It wouldn't even happen, bro. It wouldn't even happen. So this cop gotta be some hater, bro.
The conflicting accounts between police and Shabazz have only intensified the debate. Crawford's team has cited Shabazz's version as proof the stop was mishandled, while others counter that reckless driving can still be determined without radar. Shabazz described the moments inside the car as tense and frightening, noting that all 4 passengers were handcuffed despite having disclosed their firearms and cooperating. He called the escalation unnecessary. At Crawford's request, a police supervisor and lieutenant were called to the scene, and their arrival helped oversee the remainder of the stop before the citation was issued.
I think we should just let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter. And I see a lot of immature stuff, and I don't like the way things is going with.
By that point, however, the video already circulating online was shaping public opinion. Fans debated whether police had overreacted or whether Crawford had put himself in a compromising position. Some viewed the incident as a stain on what should have been a triumphant day for Omaha, while others echoed Mayweather's criticism, arguing that a fighter of Crawford's stature should never be at the center of such controversy. The Omaha Police Department quickly responded to the attention. Chief Todd Schmatterer ordered an internal affairs investigation into the officer's conduct, and Mayor John Ewing confirmed that both he and the chief were aware of the widely shared footage. The review will examine whether proper procedures were followed when the firearm was spotted and when the decision was made to remove passengers at gunpoint.
But they come up with guns drawn.
Wow, he had his guns drawn. Here's what TMZ wrote. Terence Crawford ordered out of the car by a cop holding a gun on a video. It says Terence Crawford was forced out of a car at gunpoint by police officers with kids exchange caught on video, and it's leading to an internal investigation.
For now, the only charge against Crawford is reckless driving. Police have emphasized that all firearms in the vehicle were legal and that no further charges will be filed. The sharp contrast between the city's daytime parade and the late-night traffic stop has defined the weekend. Omaha residents who had cheered their champion hours earlier now woke up to headlines about him being pulled from his car at gunpoint. On social media, reactions ranged from disbelief to frustration, some fans calling it the wildest 24 hours for a hometown hero, while others accused police of targeting Crawford. Critics, meanwhile, argued he should never have been on the road so late in the first place.
Be an investigation, but the damage is already done, my guy. The damage is already done. I'll be surprised if Terence Bud Crawford comes back to the city just disrespectful to the face of boxing. Not saying that the man's above the law, but Lord child, what was y'all doing? Gunpoint?
Mayweather has only fueled the controversy by using the stop to draw a line between his career and Crawford's. For Floyd, true legacy isn't defined solely by victories, but by the choices a fighter makes when the spotlight is at its brightest. In his view, Crawford undercut his own triumph by ending up in handcuffs on the very night Omaha celebrated him.
Mayweather, I thought, took on some pretty tough 154 pounders when it was in a young Canelo and a very tough Cotto who was punching very hard before. You know, remember Cotto had knocked out Delvin Rodriguez at 54. He'd still done some damage at 54, and I thought
won a title at 60.
Yeah, and I thought he knocked out Martinez at 60, and I thought he gave Mayweather a pretty good fight at 54. I don't know.
Crawford's camp has remained largely silent, issuing only a brief statement through his spokeswoman on Sunday evening confirming he had no comment. Since then, neither he nor his team has addressed the citation, the police account, or Shabazz's version of events. For now, the internal affairs investigation is ongoing, and the reckless driving citation still stands. Meanwhile, the back and forth between Floyd and Crawford continues to escalate, and the rest of the boxing world hasn't stayed on the sideline. With names this big, it's no surprise that legends, analysts, and promoters alike are weighing in with their own take.
I don't go off of that. Floyd was the best fighter, in his era. And I feel like I'm the best.
Oscar De La Hoya, never one to stay quiet when Mayweather's name comes up, was quick to make his stance clear. He scoffed at the notion that Crawford's win over Canelo puts him anywhere near Floyd's level, calling the comparison nonsensical. De La Hoya reminded fans that Mayweather faced Canelo when the Mexican star was younger, fresher, and seen as the greater challenge. Yet Floyd made him look like a novice. Crawford, by contrast, had to grind through 12 rounds to secure his victory. For
I knew that. But Saudi kept saying, hold him, keep boxing, keep boxing.
Does anybody know where Bo is?
Is he in the locker room?